he cheating, I'm doing him worse. No Uno, I hit the reverse. I ain't tripping the grip in my purse. I don't care, cause he did it first. If he cheating, I'm doing him worse.
Oh yeah, he did it first. Democrats cooking up new ways to interfere with law enforcement, hot off the heels of House Dems announcing plans to launch an ICE tracker. Freshly indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James is setting up a snitch line, a new portal where residents can send in photos and videos of ICE operations. And over in Los Angeles, an activist is reminding agents they're not the only ones with guns. Watch this.
They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen with AR-15s and other military rifles.
You know, kind of sounds like you're calling for violence there. President Trump says he will not deploy the National Guard to San Francisco after a conversation with Mayor Daniel Lurie, and here's why.
Some friends of mine, very successful people, Mark, who's everybody knows him, and Jensen, everybody knows Jensen, NVIDIA, and others called me from San Francisco, and they said, we're working really, really hard with the mayor. We're making progress. Would it be possible for you to hold off the surge? We are holding off that surge, everybody, and we're going to let them see if they can do it. I said, I think we can do it much faster. I know we can do it faster.
All right, so Dana, let's talk a little bit about this reversal. It's very interesting because it wasn't necessarily the mayor. It is some of these tech giants who have gone to the White House and talked to the president. They're the ones who are affecting policy, calling him directly and getting him to hold off on the National Guard. What does that say to you?
Well, the reason that Daniel Lurie is the mayor is because I can't remember the name of the previous
London
mayor.
Breed.
That was a disaster.
Yes.
And everything was going to hell in a handbasket.
Watch your mouth.
I feel like Kennedy when I said that. And so he's actually taking steps to make it better, and he's got the buy-in from the community. So then, and they're willing to call the president. They have a relationship with him. And so what we've been saying about the Democrats, you've got a problem with immigration, the shutdown, whatever it is, ask to meet and just be willing to go 60% of the way there, and he'll be there for you. And so I think that's partly what it is. And if they can show that they are making progress, then why would you send the National Guard there? That wouldn't make sense. On the fact that the Democrats are thinking about this ICE tracker, to me, that is such clear obstruction of justice. And you have to wonder, like, where's the dad of the Democratic Party? Where is dad to say, no, you are not doing that. Go to your room, think about what you've done, and then we can talk about it later. I don't see how that is not illegal, but I don't know the mechanism by which they pull it back.
Well, let's talk about that.
I know. Now I'm looking at the lawyer.
Well, no, because Paul, you're not only a former NYPD detective, Sergeant.
Inspector.
That's right.
Close enough for cable TV.
These are very important terms that we'll hash out later. You're also a lawyer. So I sense there's a little bit of disappointment from the San Francisco district attorney who was saying that if, in fact, the National Guard or ICE agents go into San Francisco, that they will be arrested by local law enforcement and prosecuted.
Yeah,
Your thoughts on that?
Good luck with that. We got this thing, the Supremacy Clause, all right? And under the Supremacy Clause, federal law trumps state law. And what they're relying on with that is that we're going to watch every bit of police brutality, ICE brutality, and we're going to charge state like assault charges or something like that. It's not going to happen. It's never going to come to that. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons it's not going to come to that. It's for the right reason. Because if you see these films, these ICE guys are taking tremendous abuse. And then I had to watch Tish James, because this is her MO. In 2020, same thing as the AG. She puts out on Twitter, here's the phone number, here's the direct email. Get to me with any instances of police brutality that you see. I'm walking with one of my guys. There's a guy on top of a car screaming and yelling. He says, yo, get down off of that. The guy very calmly, this is a true story, pulls out his wallet, shows him ID from the mayor's office. De Blasio sent his people out to watch the cops. Meanwhile, they're trying to keep Macy's from burning down. They did $1 billion in change and damage. All these people injured. I had to take this poor lieutenant had to go to Queens to get his face sewn back together because all of the ERs in Manhattan were overrun with people that were injured, and they were all police officers, but we were the bad guys. Just to bring the rubber back to the road here, these are conspirators. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm sure that they're thinking this way, Patel and Bongino are thinking this way. You get somebody now who, from this ICE tracker, takes that information, hurts an ICE officer, and they can put that together from the metadata. Well, this Ron Garchez and Tish James and everybody else who are pushing this stuff, if you're in that traffic, good luck, because you're going to get indicted, because clearly they're not afraid to go all the way with this stuff. So if you've got the ICE tracker going, and whether you're this congressman or whether these other guys making threats, you're on the radar screen and you put yourselves there. And you know what? This administration is not afraid of that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to screw around here. But I was really kind of struck by that teacher. You know, this is a high school teacher going out. Basically, he is inciting violence because, you know, he's trying to sound like a tough guy, saying, well, we're in South Central. You know, cops aren't the only ones with guns. What does that say to you?
Well, they're always teachers, aren't they? The one that was like this.
Yeah, why?
Always teachers. And a lot of them are elementary school teachers, which just scares the crap out of you.
And they're not even attractive, Jesse.
Never have we seen an attractive teacher threaten an ICE agent.
No, never.
Not that we want to, and not that we look at these things. Well,
Van
Greg
Halen
does,
would be
mostly.
upset.
But what happens is, so if you get more violence against ICE, all Trump's going to do is put more guard in to protect ICE. And then what's going to happen? There's going to be another reaction, and it goes up the escalation ladder. And that's kind of what they want. They want to escalate. They want to rumble in the streets. It's clear. And it's going towards a civil war. No one wants that. You can't have cities, state, and federal agents all at war with each other. Nancy Pelosi said...
They don't want that either.
No one wants that. Nancy Pelosi said if the ICE agents come into San Francisco, or the Guard, that the San Francisco Police Department should blockade them and arrest them.
Yes.
What kind of collision course are we on here? And it didn't take Newsom to settle things, right? It took businessmen. Yep. It took a mayor. The businessmen are running this country. The politicians have stepped out. They have no juice. None at all. Right. And if you're an agent, you're already on a cartel hit list, and now you're on a list from your own government, and they're basically saying they're going to debank you, they're going to make sure you can't say what you want online, you're never going to work in government again. It's really scary. I would never... Poor Dean Cain.
Yeah.
He's an ICE agent. Now he's on a list. He'll probably be on a no-fly list with Tulsi.
How ironic.
Former Superman.
On a no-fly list.
Very good, Greg.
We'll be right back. No, actually, we won't. This is another example of an imaginary problem and an imaginary solution. What is the imaginary problem? ICE agents doing their job. What's their imaginary solution? An ICE tracker. What do you do with an ICE tracker once you track? You're going to make a citizen's arrest? Are you going to interfere with their job? Are you going to do a lousy rendition of this land is your land on the side of the street? This reeks of actually hilarious failure. I don't see this as a problem at all. It's comical, and they are co-conspirators, but they're also clowns. This will go away because there's no place to go with it. But it makes me wonder if you can crowdsource tracking of ICE, and could you do that to the police too? If you can alone define what a law is, then you could why not crowdsource cops, truant officers? Anybody you want. Why don't we do it? Why don't we crowdsource the criminals? Why don't we crowdsource the affluent white liberals? You know, because that's a mob. We don't do that, and it doesn't end well. So, but given that a party is galvanizing a mob to thwart law enforcement that often arrests child rapists, and you thwart that, you're going to leave the community with nothing but mob rule. They're going to have to do it themselves. You don't want that. That never goes well. So I think what bugs me most about the Democrats right now is they believe illegals have an exemption that citizens don't. And that what I saw in Chinatown, that emboldens migrants from other countries who are cocky. And they harass the cops because they know there's nothing you can do about it. I saw it with my own eyes when I was there. I mean, if you can come here illegally, do the crime, and the laws don't apply, we're effed.
Well, look who they're trying to activate. And you've talked about this many times. You know, not only people who feel emboldened, but also people who are unwell.
Yes, like Jesse.
Jesse Waters, that's exactly.
I've never harmed anybody.
Well, you self-harm.
Self-harm. Look at my hair.
He has hurt their feelings. Ahead, a Democrat is going shirtless to prove that he's not a Nazi. Yeah.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!